Hello, I'm going to show how to install APT using a guide I've prepared. This guide is available on GitHub, and I'll be providing the link to the guide in the description. Let's get started. The first thing we need to do is step 0. So first we need to download APT to the downloads folder. And I've provided two ways you can do that. One is to visit the Aperture Photometry website in the downloads page, and for convenience I've added the link that's directly to the version of APT that we'll be using today, which is version 2.8.4. It says here you can right click, then select Save Target As, Save Link As, or Download Linked File. There's different options depending on which browser you're using. And as you can see, mine says Save Link As. So I'll go ahead and click that. And I am in the downloads folder. So I'll go ahead and save. It says here that it can't be downloaded securely. So what we need to do is click on the little options button, and we want to tell it that we want to keep. And it's downloaded. Once we have the file downloaded, we need to make sure that we place it in the downloads folder. So we'll start by opening Finder, and let's check it out. Let's open up Finder and look at our downloads folder. So I have Finder on my dock. If you don't have it there, then you can use my favorite command. My favorite shortcut. If you press and hold down the command button and hit the spacebar, you'll open up Spotlight Search. Some of you, that might be actually a shortcut to Siri, but on the top right, you'll see this little magnifying glass. This is the Spotlight Search. So let's look up Finder. And there it is. Enter. I'm going to navigate into the downloads folder, and there it is, APT, and it has this funny ending, right? Now, this is important because we will take this into consideration for the next step. It says open Finder and double click apt_v2.8.4.tar.gz. So let's go ahead and double click it. Says once you can confirm you have the normal folder named apt_v2.8.4, delete the file with the funny ending, right? So let's right click and move to trash. We do this to avoid clutter. And close Finder. We can now move on to step number 1. Verify if we have Java installed. To verify if we have Java installed, we need to first open up Terminal. To do that, Command space, and let's look for Terminal. All right. Here I I can type it, or actually the safer thing to do is to copy and paste it. So I'll copy this and I'll move back into Terminal, and I'll paste Java-version, I hit enter, and would you look at that, I do have Java. If you don't have Java installed, you can visit the following website. Here, let's take a look. Open it in a new tab. This is the download Java page, and press the red button to do the download and go through the installation. You can delete the file once you're done doing the installation. Nothing appears, it just does the download, and Java provides the operations to actually show the programs. So Java isn't something that you actually open up, but instead it provides the tools for programs to open. And after you've done the download and the install, you can check and use this same method that we did inside of Terminal. You might have to close Terminal and open it back up again to verify. And just simply copy and paste the line and hit enter. Now that we've done that, let's move on to step number 2. We need to verify the shell interpreter that we're using, and each shell interpreter will load a different configuration file depending on which version we're using. So here, what we're going to do is copy this line. It says echo $0, and we'll paste it into terminal. Then we hit enter. In this case, it shows ZSH, which stands for Z shell. And according to the tutorial that we have here, this guide, it says for this tutorial, we will only cover the cases for the following outputs from the previous command. So bash and ZSH or Z shell. First, I'll start by showing step 3 for Z shell, and then I will show step 3 for bash. So if you're a bash user, you can skip forward and go to the instructions that are specific to you. Step 3 for Z shell users. So what we're going to do here is use some features to look for the configuration file. The name of the configuration file for Z shell users is .zprofile. Let's start by copying and pasting this first line here. And we hit enter. Notice I do have .zprofile, so I don't need to make one. But if you do need to make one, then all you have to do is copy this line, paste it into terminal, and hit enter. Now that you have the .zprofile file created, what we need to do now is copy and paste these sets of commands into terminal. And we hit enter. Now it says to close terminal. Now you can skip forward until we start covering section or step 4, where I show how to run APT. Now I'll be showing step 3 for bash users. So first, I'm going to go back to step number 2 to verify what interpreter I'm using. So let me open up terminal. And I'll copy and paste this line to see what output I get. And I hit enter. Now it says bash. So the instructions I need to follow will be step 3 for bash. It says here that first we need to check if we have configuration files. And there's 2 of them that we're keeping an eye out for, either bash_profile or .profile. And in order to do that, we'll copy and paste this line that's here. I hit enter, and you'll notice I have different files here. One says bash history, bash sessions, but it doesn't say bash_profile. But I do have .profile. So I'll have to follow a particular set of instructions myself. Here it says if you don't have either .bashprofile or .profile, you would need to make the .bashprofile by using this command. You would simply right click, copy, paste it into terminal, and hit enter. If you had to make the .bashprofile, or if you already had it, all you have to do is copy these sets of lines, paste it into terminal, and hit enter. In my case, I have the .profile, and I need to copy and paste these sets of lines. So I'll copy, right click, paste, and I hit enter. And it says to close terminal. Bash users and Z shell users. The step number 4 is one that is shared for both users. So in order to run APT, we will always follow these sets of commands. So first we need to open terminal. You can press and hold the command button and then tap on the spacebar, and let's open terminal. Now that we're here, we type capital A, capital P, then it says to hit the tab key and it should autocomplete to say apt.csh. Now we hit enter and it should start right away. Great. So there are some notes about running APT. And it says here, since we're using terminal to run APT, it needs to remain open while we use it. So while we use APT. So here you see terminal and here you see APT. What I'm going to do is I'm going to load an image and look at terminal as I load this image. There it goes. Nice. Let me close the color table levels and move this over to the side. Notice my window is actually too large to fit inside of my monitor. So what I do is I press this green button, and now I can see all the buttons and the entire space around the APT window. And now I can do aperture photometry on my Mac. Now to close APT, we have instructions here, and it says to close APT, close the APT window. So first I close this, and now I can close terminal. And that is how you install APT on Mac. To run it in the future, you will have to always use the same commands. First, open terminal, type capital A, then capital P, hit the tab key. It should autocomplete to say apt.csh, then hit enter, and it should open up right away. Thank you.